Hey everyone, welcome back to a Meeple family. Today I am hoping to do a solo tutorial on how to play Stamp Swap. My goal is to walk you through step by step so you can get this to your table and enjoy some solo stamp collecting. You're going to want to go ahead and set up just like a two-player game, but there are a few changes. You're not going to be using the first player token, and there's a couple of the attending cards you're going to remove as well, which are numbers 1, 5, 6, and 9. You'll also want to get out these 3 AI decks, and I'll show you how they integrate to the solo play. In order to pick the right AI mat, we are going to look at the numbers that coordinate here, 21 and 24 for this particular mat, with the number that coordinates to our scoring objective here, which also is 21. So this is going to match the yellow objective that you put out on the board, and you're just going to want to find that matching mat. Most of the player mats are double-sided, and they are going to have different AI scoring components tied to the objective you have out here. So just make sure you have the AI mat all squared away, and then you can pick some of the other ones. Keep in mind that these are asymmetric mats, so for this particular one, I will get 1 point per animal stamp that I have in my collection every time we go to the show mechanism of the game. You're also going to want to make sure that you have these appraisal tokens handy because we're going to be using them through all 3 rounds of the game, and these are unique and used only for the solo mode. Go ahead and pick out a color for yourself as well as the AI. You're also going to choose your difficulty level, 1, 2, or 3. I recommend starting at level 1 for your first game. This game is pretty tough, at least it was for me, so don't be ashamed to start at level 1. All right, let's go over what a round is going to look like. The first thing you're going to do is draw an event card. That's the purple backed ones like this. We're only going to look at the top section. You can see there's a line here in the middle. We're just looking at this top section here. So we're going to place the items shown at the top of the card into the AI's daily collection. You can see that white icons are going to be face up stamps, while the back icons are going to be face down stamps. If, for instance, you need to add an attendee card, you're always going to place that face up. Now you can see I have matched the stamp requirements for this card, and I have put them under either the large or small pile as depicted on the card. The other thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and orient these so that the number or canceled icon is in the upper right-hand side of the stamp. And that is good to go. Now we're going to draw a second event card, and this is going to be to set up our area for our daily collection. But this time, instead of looking at that top, which is where the AI looks, we're going to look at the bottom, and we're actually going to be setting down 6 different stamps. All right, so it should look something like this, but we're not done yet. When it's our turn, we're also going to read the text down at the bottom. So for instance, this one says, choose and discard 1 face-up non-forever stamp, which are these little ones, from the AI's daily collection. Replace it with one of the same shape from the supply face down. So with that being the case, we'll go ahead and follow those directions, and we will discard one of the face-up stamps and just get one from the supply. And this time we're gonna have it be face down. And at that point, we can discard these from the game. Now, when it comes to our personal daily collection, don't forget that you can secretly look at your face down stamps. That's a good one. At this point, if you did have any specialist cards that activate during the collect phase, we would resolve those now, but since we're just getting started, we don't have any yet. And that takes care of the collect phase, so now it's time to move our round tracker to the swap phase. I like to break this down into 2 steps. Step 1 is that we cut and the AI chooses from us. So the very first thing we're gonna do is appraise all of the items that we have in our daily collection here. And in order to do that, we are gonna be following this handy dandy player aid. You are gonna want this close by because we're gonna be doing this every round. And it's really nice that they made this appraisal player aid because it does get a little confusing. So I hope I can explain it to you and you can play this game with confidence. All right, so we are simply going to place these in order. So we can see that if we were to have drawn one of the specialist or exhibitor cards, we would place a token there, but we didn't draw any. But we did get a forever stamp, and it tells us here that we are going to put one of these tokens by the forever stamp. We know that we have one of these rare stamps, but the AI doesn't, but typically they would put 4 of these tokens by a rare stamp, but we do not have any. And next we have all other stamps. So in this case, we are looking for stamps that cost 2 or higher. We do have one here, so that will get 1 coin. And then we're gonna look at size. So for size, we're actually going to look at what the AI is really going after. They're going after large squares, which we don't have any, but we do have small squares. So they are gonna put 2 tokens by each of these small squares we have. And there you have it. The AI has appraised or kind of shown us what they're most interested in at this point. So the next step is that we now get to look at this information and reserve 1 item. Now keep in mind that this cannot be a rare stamp. So I think for this example, since I do get a point for animals, I am gonna grab this one right here. I will remove the AI token from that and place it into my reserve. Now it is time for us to split our 5 remaining tiles into 2 piles. Keep in mind that 1 pile must have exactly 1 more item. So that means we're gonna have a pile of 3 and a pile of 2. So I may split them up like this because I'd really like to get this rare stamp. And if I can trick the AI into taking this one, I'll be really happy. Let's see how it works out. Now, before the AI flips over a decision card, we're also going to add an additional AI token to the largest grouping because obviously more always seems better. So they're going to really want to take this grouping here. But what I love about what this AI does is they've given us some decision cards. So the AI may pull one over on us and pick something that we don't expect. So these blue backed cards are the decision cards. We are going to shuffle these and let's flip one over. And as you can see, during this part, we're just looking at this top portion here. This example, there were no tokens that we need to remove. But if we did flip one over that looked like this, we would remove 2 tokens from the group with the most, and then decide what the AI gets. If it's a tie, they're still gonna take the largest group. These will get shuffled every round, so you can just place these back, and then when you choose again, just make sure that you shuffle those back up. So since the AI didn't remove any of these tokens, they're going to take the pile that has the most tokens. So let's go ahead and move these over to the AI's mat. And just remember that if it's a tie, they're gonna take the larger pile, and then of course, we're gonna get what's left. So we're gonna place these directly on the AI mat, and we're gonna look at how they would like us to place these. So for instance, we can see that the forever stamp has a section right here. We can see that this size stamp goes in this darker gray area. Now, they would also go in the lighter gray area, but only if they're worth 2 to 3 points. This one's only worth 1, so it's gonna go in this darker shaded area. And then we have the little square, same principle here. Because it is a canceled stamp, it's gonna go in the darker yellow area. If it were worth 2 or 3 points, it would go in the lighter shaded area. And then of course, we can go ahead and reveal what we have gotten from our collection here. So we have got a rare stamp and it looks like a #1 space themed stamp. So like I said, this is a 2-step process. We've done ours. Now we're gonna go over to the AI, see how they split up their stamps, and this time we're gonna get to choose first. So just like we started with ours, we are going to appraise these items first, and that's just gonna give the AI some decision space on how to move things around. So we know that the large pile here always starts with 1 token. So I like to put that here. You could just use the 1 here, but sometimes I forget. So I like to put the token out there. And again, don't forget, we're using our player aid here. So we are looking for the forever stamp. That is gonna get 1 token. We don't have any of the rare stamps out. Now we're looking at amounts. I only have a level 1 here. Everything else is face down, so we can't really allocate any of these tokens to anything else, but we can look at sizes. So we know that the AI really wants the large square. There's none out here, but they also want the small square. This is our only small square option right here, so it will get 2. And that is just dictated by this card here telling us to put 2 next to the shape that the AI wants. So now you can see that we have 4 over here and none over here. So in that case, because this has 3 or more tokens, we're gonna take the item that has the most tokens and exchange it for one that has the least. So either of these will work. Let's go ahead and move the monument over here. Okay, so now we're evenly tied. So we have 2 and 2. Now it's our turn to choose which pile we want, and the AI is going to get the other. I think we're gonna risk it and go ahead and take this pile here so that we can get one of those forever stamps because those do count as points. during the end of the game, and then these ones are gonna go to the AI. So we're gonna go ahead and allocate these the exact same way into their correct areas of the board. And then we are in the process of the show phase. So that is the third part of our day, which today is Friday. So at this point in the game, we are going to be placing our newly acquired stamps into our album. Once we have placed our newly acquired stamps into our album, we can go ahead and score this round. So you're always gonna score your exhibitor points. Mine is 1 per animal, and I believe I just have the 1 animal, so I would literally just get that 1 particular point. Now in the multiplayer game, there is a part where you do score for the first player token. That is not done in the solo mode. But the next thing we are going to look at is these contest cards out here in the middle of the board. We have a red, orange, yellow, and green one, and we can choose one that's going to get us the most points this round. We have 3 tickets that we can spend, and we're only gonna be able to score 1 of these each round. So for instance, I could score the 1 color and score my green or my yellow technically, and that would be 3 points per stamp, but that's really only 6 points. I could do a theme, and it looks like I have 3 monuments, so that would give me 9 points. I think I'm gonna do that one because that is a little bit better, and that will get me up to 10 points. And that is gonna close out my particular round. And now let's go over here and see what we do with the AI during the show phase. So for the AI, for this particular show phase of the game, you are going to see that she has 4 of these green cards. And each of these cards is going to match up to each of the contest card colors out on the board. Not only that, but I absolutely love how they even took numbers. There's numbers on the corner of all of these cards, and they are going to show up and give a very nice weighted score to the AI. So let's do one as an example. So we'll just go ahead and flip over this top one. Okay, this is going to score for theme, which is the orange card here. So if I look at the orange card, I can see down in this lower corner is the number 1. So now I'm gonna look at how the AI is gonna score. I look at the contest card ID, which is the number 1, and then what level we're playing. We're gonna play level 1 because that's just where I'm at. So we are going to have 9 points, and then we're also gonna look at what day of the competition we're in. Is it Friday, Saturday, or Sunday? We are in Friday. So the multiplier is just 1. So that means for this particular card, the AI is gonna just score those 9 points. But for instance, if it were Saturday, the AI would score 18 points because that is a ×2 multiplier. But like I said, for this one, it's just 9 points. That can then be discarded because we're only gonna use each of those cards 1 time. And in fact, we'll only use 3 of those cards. So like us, the AI will only have access to 3 of these scoring opportunities. Now, gameplay is gonna continue just like that for Saturday and Sunday, but I quickly want to go over with you how the final show works. So the final show will take place on Sunday, and it's the very last thing we score. So let's talk about our scoring first. So we're gonna be scoring the forever stamps. And just remember, when you're playing with 2 players, you always play with an imaginary third player that has 3 forever stamps. So you can see here on the board, the player with the most forever stamps is gonna get 10 points. Second will get 6 points, and third will get 3 points. Now, if 2 players tie for the most, you're going to award them each 10 points. We will skip second place, and that will just leave third place points available. Other thing we're gonna tally up are the different points on the stamps themselves. Now, keep in mind that some of these might be negative, so just do the math and then tally that up to your total. If you've acquired any specialist cards, those are also going to give you 2 points for each one you have. And then the last thing we're gonna look at is this blue card up here, the finale, the grand finale. These are gonna be unique to every game you play, but this one is looking for complete edges. So every edge of my board that I have sealed off with stamps is going to get me 10 points per edge. So this is a great way to get points and definitely something to keep your eye on as you're playing. Now that's how we score. Let's look at how the AI scores, which is very different. So for endgame scoring, we're actually gonna go back to these decision cards. And remember, during the game, we were just using this top section. Well, now we're gonna draw one and we're gonna look at the other part of the card, okay? So let's see what we have here. So each colored section is going to assign a point value per stamp that the AI has. So for this first section, which is a darker yellow, we can see that every stamp in this section is going to be worth 8 points. So that's going to be 8 times 4, 32 points. Now we don't have anything in these two sections, but this last section here, we do have 2 points per stamp. So that's 2, 4, 6. Here you can see we have no rare stamps. And here we do have 3 of these forever stamps, but that is going to be 0. But for each card they have collected throughout the course of the game, they will get 4 points for this one card that they have in here. If the AI did have any gold rare stamps, they will add the value to those as well. And just like us, they do compete for the forever stamps, so they could have won first place for this, giving them 10 points as well. Although there are no points for specialist abilities or the final contest. Now, if you are playing level 1, you're also going to subtract 20 points from the AI, subtract 10 points for level 2, and then no subtraction for level 3. And if you are at level 3, you're amazing. Obviously, just like most games, the player with the most points wins. And that is a quick run through of how you play Stamp Swap solo with the AI. Thanks for following along. I hope this helped you feel confident setting up and playing solo. If you enjoyed this walkthrough, please like, subscribe, and drop a comment sharing your final score. Thanks again for watching, and happy gaming!